Welcome back, everybody, to the Tech Informist Podcast, episode 195, recorded on November the 3rd, 2017.
Man, already November.
It's weird to say November.
Yeah.
But it is. This is Kevin.
And Brad.
And today we're going to talk a nice variety of things, a lot of actual personal experience from things that I've been experiencing over the last week, because I kind of went on a crazy shopping spree last Friday after we recorded and spent way too much money.
Oh, no. I'm going to do that on Tuesday.
Yeah, so there's a lot of great things out there. If you've got money to burn, there's plenty of things that you can go out there and buy.
Always.
Always, yeah. But this isn't about something that I bought. It's about something that I sold. So I had listed my iPhone 6 Plus that I had bought from friend of the show, Alejandro Ramirez, who I believe you got to see a few weeks ago at the DevUp conference here in St. Louis.
And it was great to see you, Alejandro, if you were listening.
Yeah. I haven't seen Alejandro in a while. We briefly chat. It's kind of like hit and miss. I don't know. I'm bad about that. I will be the first to admit I am horrible with like keeping great contact with people. But that's not neither here nor there. But anyway,
yeah, I bought too, by the way.
I bought the iPhone 6 Plus from Alejandro a couple years ago, and I used it for quite a while until I bought my iPhone 7 Plus last year. And then I let my son use my iPhone 6 Plus, so he used it for quite a while, and it eventually got stolen, but he was able to get it back like so many days later. It was stolen by some people that he knew. That's a long story for another kind of show.
Yeah.
Anyway, lost, stolen. Reported it lost, stolen to AT&T. So then whenever that happens, the IMEI number becomes on the blacklist of, hey, this phone's been reported lost or stolen. Even though after we got the phone back and got it reset back up on the account, you would have thought it would be taken off the list.
I think I see where this is going.
Right. So I get it back after some time, and the lightning port on it started going out, and he wasn't able to charge it, and the screen needed replaced. So I thought, okay. So he went ahead and just bought himself a used iPhone 6s Plus off Swappa. I always recommend Swappa if you're looking to buy a used phone, unless of course I'm selling one, then I'd love for you to buy it from me. So he bought that, and then I kind of just took back over the 6 Plus and, replaced all the parts and stuff like that.
How was that?
It wasn't really that bad. I think the hardest part was actually taking it fully apart to not only swap out the display, but then also swapping out the lightning port, because it's kind of all at the bottom, and the adhesive on the back of the, the flat ribbons and stuff like that. There's a lot of little things you got to do in a proper order.
Yeah.
And then put all the little things back in the proper order. It really wasn't that bad. I mean, to me, I think the hardest part was making sure you plug in all the stuff to all the little plugs to the right of the battery, putting those back in the right order. And because I thought I did it wrong, or the screen wasn't working or something, it just came to where I had 2 plugs swapped around. So got those figured out, put it all back together. It worked fine. So listed that for sale a couple different times because I didn't really promote it too much. So I finally was able to sell it to Kyle Reddick, WinFan Kyle on Twitter, who also purchased my original Microsoft Band years ago.
Yeah, and I purchased a, a 10...
I thought you bought
1520 from him. Yeah, it was white, which was perfect for me. So yeah, we've kind of all swapped phones for a little while.
The devices, it's kind of funny. So I sold it to him and stuff like that. So I shipped it out to him down in Texas, and it arrived. And I asked him, hey, did you able to get that activated or whatever? Any problems with that? He said, yeah, they're saying AT&T saying it's been reported lost or stolen, and that you need to call in and get this taken care of. I thought, really? We've used it. It's worked after we got it back and stuff.
That is so strange.
So we go ahead and call down to AT&T, and I'm not the account holder for the service. My dad is. So even though I'm an authorized user,
you couldn't.
Apparently, I couldn't say, yeah, this needs to be taken off the lost, stolen blacklist or whatever.
Oh, that's frustrating.
So she's like, yeah, he needs to call in and do that. So I waited like 5 minutes. called back, got a different rep, and I just pretended to be my dad. I'm going through and just acting like an older guy would act and stuff like that. When they asked for the IMEI number, like, oh, he sent me this picture and it's got all these numbers and stuff. I think it's the IMEI or whatever. So I got a whole bunch of numbers and stuff. She's like, yeah. And she was kind of responding like I was an old guy. It was kind of funny.
I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in that conversation.
My wife was sitting in the living room, and after it was all said and done, she's like, I was just out there laughing at how you were portraying that you were your dad, being some old man that had no idea what was going on. It was funny, and they transferred me to a different department. I forget. I think his name was Jameer or something like that. He was a nice guy, and he said, yeah, it would take probably about 24 hours after that gets removed that you still need to wait to activate it, because if you try to activate it too soon, it will still kind of re-trigger the lost stolen feature. I'm like, well, Jesus, that's kind of annoying.
Yeah, inconvenient.
But here's the kicker. After Kyle put his wife's SIM card into that phone, and it was deemed lost or stolen, it then makes her SIM card invalid. Like, they stole the phone and were trying to use it on their service, so it deactivates her SIM card. So on Saturday morning or whatever, they had to go into AT&T and get the SIM card squared away. But they ended up getting the phone is working just fine. They got it all set up, but it was just things I would have never thought of. I guess most people, when they lose or have a phone stolen, they typically don't get it back. So I guess this don't pop up for the majority of people. But for those of you out there listening, that's something you need to keep in mind. And I don't know if this is the same with all the other major carriers in the United States or how it works around the world. If you have any experience with this, I'm curious to see what the other carriers, how they handle situations like this.
Also, you want to put your tinfoil hat on.
Uh-oh.
That whole like SIM card thing and deactivation, the fact that they have the power to do that is a little scary.
Right. That just because to set up an iPhone, you can't even set it up without putting a SIM card in it. I mean, it's not like
you can't just use it as an iPod.
Yeah, you can't just Wi-Fi set it up. You got to put a SIM card in there to get it set up. Again, that's what's funny, because I had to set it up to update it to iOS 11. I put my SIM card in it out of my 7 Plus, and then after I got it set up, then I put my SIM card back in my phone. I guess maybe because it was still on the same account, but with the phone numbers, that's the only reason why I didn't screw my SIM card up.
Your stuff,
I guess. I'm like, this is really weird.
Yeah, that is really strange.
I mean, because as that just kept going, I thought, well, that didn't happen to me. That didn't happen to me. That don't make any sense. But yeah,
I mean, I would say it's a 50-50 shot. If you lose or your phone gets stolen or whatever, that you're going to get it back.
Right.
The fact that you got it back was awesome, but then when you go to sell it, it was something unforeseen.
I would have never thought that would be an issue, since he was able to use the phone again after he got it back.
Interesting.
Very. I was like, okay, I've learned something new, and told him, well, I'm definitely going to talk about this experience on the next episode, because I think it's something interesting people need to be aware of.
Well, it's kind of the season of people are getting new phones. I mean, today is the launch of the iPhone 10, right?
Yeah, it's officially, well, I wouldn't say in stores. It's going to be in a couple customers' hands, depending on where you're going.
Stock that they probably have in stores. I mean, most people ordered online, and they're just waiting.
Yeah, Apple stores are obviously going to get the bigger allotment.
Right,
devices
that makes
shipped
sense.
out. Carrier stores, depending on what carrier and depending on what store it is, some's going to get more than others. I believe you said the Sprint store that your wife works at got 2.
Yeah, so by the time you hear this, they'll be long gone.
Yes.
But
and I've seen pictures of lines for Apple stores. Casey Neistat, big YouTuber, if you haven't looked at his stuff, check it out. Great vlogger. Posted some video and pictures of stuff of the Soho Apple store. And again, not to demean the Asian culture or whatever, but a lot of the first people that were in line were Asian, so they were just buying them to send over to China.
Yeah, I mean, they're cheaper over here, I would imagine.
Yeah, so, or unable to get in China, because I don't think they're going to be getting them right away, even though they're made in China. So, made in China, sent to the United States to be sent back to China. And that's
funny world we live in.
Right. And
that's also for another show.
That's entirely a completely other show. Big topic. Talking about the iPhone X, Best Buy actually had some very questionable business practices when it comes to selling those on non-installment plans. So if you wanted to just walk into a Best Buy store and pay for one outright, you were going to be spending $100 more than the MSRP.
See, that's not right.
That's not right.
That Apple should have put their foot down on something like that. That should not be it's one thing if a customer buys the phone and it's theirs, but if a company has the phone, they shouldn't be allowed to do that. That's like artificially inflating prices on, let's say, I don't know, Xboxes. Mm-hmm. And Microsoft would I would imagine Microsoft would be like, no, we're not doing that just because, let's say the X is really hard to get this season. And Walmart decides to, sell them for $600 instead of $500. Mm-hmm. That's not right.
No.
That's not right at all. And whoever sees that should report that to some kind of, company that, any way they can get a hold of those companies.
I mean, it's not good, but then again, MSRP is manufacturer's suggested retail price. It's up to the retailer to sell it for whatever they want.
I don't like that.
They've just got to deal with the public backlash like Best Buy caught.
Right.
And Best Buy decided, okay, fine, we're just not going to sell them off contract or whatever. So you will not let you walk into a store and pay full price. You'll be able to start that payment or whatever.
Yeah, but you can usually pay
then
those
you can,
off.
Yeah, then the next month you'll just pay off the entire amount. That's what you have to do.
It's whatever. Yeah. Who's going to go out, just fully out buy a $1,000 phone? Not very many people.
Enough people would. I would have loved to, but again, getting into all the stuff that I bought and chose not to sell right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought that was kind of interesting. The Best Buy
While we're talking about the iPhone 10, mm-hmm. I heard an interesting story last night. So essentially in San Francisco, go figure, we were just there. Mm-hmm. There was a UPS truck parked outside of the store. Two guys apparently decided to line their pockets with 313 iPhone 10s, which is roughly close to $400,000 if you do the math. Wow. All I can say is, how did no one see them? And why the heck would you
leave a truck sitting there out overnight?
Not only that, but why would you steal something that can be tracked?
Right.
That is a terrible idea.
Well, they're going to sell them on the street for cash.
True.
And whoever buys it is going to go to try to activate it and going to be told you're out of luck. Mm-hmm. So they're going to be out whatever that money. They're not really going to know the person. That's that whole scene. I'm not saying that San Francisco, it's just that's that whole criminal element scene that
behind any city probably.
Because they're going to probably say, hey, we'll sell you this for $500. Yeah. Brand new iPhone 10. $500 sealed, see? $500? Sweet.
And then that person could think one of two things. I got an iPhone 10 for $500, or now I can turn around and sell this for $700.
Right. So there's always somebody out there trying to make money the dishonest way.
Yeah, it's inevitable. But it's
the world we've always lived in.
It's fascinating that even happened.
Well, you kind of hear about this, it seems like every year.
Next to Silicon Valley, though. That's a lot of iPhone 10s.
That sure is, yeah.
Anyway, I digress.
Right. Well, I guess a couple other little Apple things. I guess you heard about the Apple engineer that lost his job because his daughter took video or whatever for YouTube. He let her take the video in the Apple Cafe.
Yep. He essentially handed her the phone and she was kind of showing what it could do, which you would almost think this close to launch that it wouldn't be that big of a deal because they've already shown what the phone can do. It's not like it was something we've never seen before.
It was well after the Apple event showing the iPhone 10 off, and obviously other YouTubers and stuff like that did that, but they're not Apple employees. They don't have Apple-sensitive information potentially on the phone, and they're not in the Apple Cafe taking these videos. They're under controlled environments taking those early hands-on short little I mean, I watched the video. It was only like a minute or so long. It was very short.
Yeah, and again, it just didn't feel that damning of evidence to get rid of the guy. I mean, unless they were looking for a reason, but I don't know. That's...
Come to find out, doing a little more research, because, you look at her, she's a pretty girl, but she's not a little teenager. She's married.
Yeah.
So she's probably in her very early 20s, I would presume. So she's older than the images make it look that, my goofy teenage daughter grabbed my phone and took a video. No, she's old enough that it's not an issue. And she had a very legitimately emotional response video that, she feels bad that she put that out there. She didn't think everything was going to go that way. So it's kind of a shame that it happened that way, that he lost his job. And
I'm sure he'll land on his feet.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously got a pretty good resume. But Apple's rules are Apple's rules, and they don't make any exceptions no matter how good of an employee you are, I guess.
Yeah.
For certain things, you break it, out the door, sorry. Apple also pushed out iOS 11.1 this week, along with watchOS 4.1 this week. I have updated both my iPhone 7 Plus and my Apple Watch Series 1.
Any issues with either?
It seems like it has helped with being able to open up apps on my Apple Watch after getting a notification on Facebook Messenger. It's actually opening those and seeing what it is that was there. I have not tried responding to a text yet from it, because that was another thing that it would just fail to deliver the text if I just responded from the Apple Watch. Bluetooth connectivity, I haven't really had a chance because I've kind of been stuck home most of this week, so I'll probably find that out this weekend whenever we head to Kansas City. Being able to delete multiple emails in the default mail client on the iPhone is actually working. Before, it was I could barely select what could be seen on the screen at the time and then hit delete, and it would delete them. And if you try to go too many more than that, it would just just hang up and freeze. So you'd have to clear out the mail app, reopen it. Now it seems like it's actually doing it. I deleted 34 emails at one time yesterday, and it took a little bit longer than it normally would, but it did delete them. So I'm like, okay, we got that squared away.
Well, my wife has been having lots of issues with 11, and this was on her 7 at first. Now she has her 8. We thought it was fixed, and now it's kind of doing the same thing again, where, I don't know, she uses Touch ID to get into the phone, and then it freezes the front screen, and it won't restart. So then that's when we found out that, oh, hey, by the way, also they changed the button trick where you go to soft reset the phone. And
I think that whenever you posted that in the Tech Informers community, they changed that, I think, with the 7 and 7 Plus.
It's very possible because, like you said, the home button changed how it worked. It was more of a...
It's not a clicky button. It's just all sensors.
So that could definitely very well have been. And I guess I just didn't realize that. But it's good information to know.
Right.
It's in our Facebook group. You should go check it out.
Yeah.
Because I forgot what the button trick is.
Right. You posted a link and a diagram photo of how to do that. So that's the Tech Informers community on Facebook.com.
Oh, actually, I remember now. It's I believe it's you press volume up, volume down, 1, 1, and then hold the power button. And then that should put
it is weird because I've had to do it before. I was like, this is so stupid.
Yeah. So that's a thing that she's been having problems with. She thought that for a little while, maybe I just got a bad phone. I'm like, no, because your iPhone 7 was doing that. I think it's a bug in the software. And she's already hard reset it once, so it's like...
Does she restore from a backup whenever she comes back?
Probably. I don't know. I'll ask.
Yeah. I love the fact that you can, but I don't always recommend it.
Well, in my case, I've never had an issue with that.
Right.
So, I don't know. It's a thing.
Right. It is a thing. But with iOS 11, there was a nice little hacking contest put on by Trend Micro's annual Mobile Pwn to Own contest that took place in Tokyo, Japan on, I believe it had been November the 2nd at the PAC-SEC, so security conference. And security researchers spent the day attempting to hack into the iPhone 7, the Samsung Galaxy S8, the Google Pixel, and the Huawei Mate 9 Pro in an effort to win prizes totaling more than $500,000.
That's pretty awesome.
The latest version of iOS 11 was successfully breached twice by Tencent Keen Security Lab. The first hack targeted a Wi-Fi bug and won the team $110,000 and 11 Master of Pwn points, while the second hack targeted the Safari browser and earned Tencent Keen Security Lab another $45,000 and 12 Master of Pwn points.
I'm going to be honest, I'm not very surprised about the Safari browser part.
Right.
I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just not surprised.
Tencent Keen Security Lab was on the clock once more as they targeted the Safari browser on the iPhone 7. It took them just a few seconds to successfully demonstrate their exploit, which needed only 2 bugs, one in the browser and one in a system service to allow their rogue app to persist through a reboot. As the second finisher in the browser category, they earned half of the cash award at $45,000, but still earned the full 13 Master of Pwn points. Isn't that something?
Dang.
And somebody else.
What's really awesome is that they are bringing these groups together. Potentially, some of these groups could be, bad or influentially bad or whatever, but they're not. They're using that kind of, hacking for good. And I really like that they do these. I mean, even if they say they know an exploit and they save it for these contests, it's fine because they're not sharing that information. They do it during
spreading around to do it nefariously
because they want to win the money. I mean,
and could possibly get jobs.
Exactly. So, I mean, these are all good things happening here, regardless of what phone did or didn't get hacked.
I mean, who better to have on your security team than people that can bypass your security to help you patch those holes before they even get put out in the public?
Some say the best offense is defense.
Yeah, sure is. So, anyway, make sure to update your devices. Keep them updated. It's going to be a little while with the iOS 11.1 update to figure out if battery life is going to improve. Because, I mean, it just updated a couple days ago. And
that's the other thing. Since my wife has moved from the 7 to the 8, her battery life is fantastic again. I don't know if that's...
No, the battery's probably a year old on the 7. I mean, like the battery's a year old on my 7 Plus.
True.
It's not like it's really hard to change out the battery, but, to put in a brand new battery.
Void your warranty.
Yeah, but I don't really have a warranty on my... I might still have a factory warranty. I'd have to look up my serial number to see what warranty is still left on it factory-wise, because I didn't get the extended on it. I think I might hold off purchasing my own personal iPhone 10 just to make sure there's not going to be no display issues like the Pixel 2 XL. And
I don't blame you at all. I mean, it's an expensive device to get into.
Very.
I mean, there's various other factors. We're still waiting to see, if Face ID is going to be worth it. Right now, it's kind of a toss of the coin whether or not it works. And to look at it from another point of view, when we first launched Windows Hello, to be honest, I wasn't impressed. Yes, it did the thing, but not very well.
Seemed kind of gimmicky?
Almost, yeah, to me. And which is why I just kind of wrote it off for a while. Well, fast forward 1 or 2 years, and now it's flawless. It's amazing, and I recommend everyone that buys a Surface from me use the facial recognition. Is so awesome. It's faster than typing in a password. You don't have to worry about somebody seeing your password that you probably use for something else, let's be honest. And which, by the way, we should do an episode on passwords and two-factor because I love that stuff.
Yeah, that was one of the suggestions in the Tech Informers community as well, that for something for us to cover. And that's something I want to learn more about because I don't use LastPass or...
Oh, man, I have got some stuff for you.
Yeah.
Whether you're a Windows person or an Android or an iOS, I've got tricks up my sleeve.
Ooh.
So we'll get into that.
Yeah.
We'll definitely get into that. But, I'm just... I'm not surprised that it doesn't work flawlessly because, again, they need the data to put through their systems to make it better. So I think this... Face ID is going to get better with time. So don't, go up in arms saying, "Oh, it doesn't work. It's a piece of crap" or whatever. Just chill. Just let's see how things roll and see if it gets better with time. The same way our Windows Hello did.
And I do remember on the 950, just to make sure that you try to calibrate it in different conditions.
Oh my God, when I first started using that, I wanted to pull my hair out, and then I put it on the fast ring, and it worked flawlessly.
I know, kind of weird. But you were getting the more up-to-date software versions and stuff like that, so it would kind of help work better.
You know, it's funny that the Windows Phone always seemed to be a step ahead in, like, hardware. But man, software, whew. For instance, you had wireless charging in 2012 with the 920. That was cool.
Long time ago.
Before fast charging was a thing, that was cool. Fast forward, now the iPhone has wireless charging, and it has the facial recognition stuff that the 920 had 2 years ago. It just, it's that 2-year cycle. Like, they're always ahead, but they're always behind.
It was longer than that. It was like 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Well, other than the face recognition, that's only a couple years old. But, yeah, it's just the way it is. You know, Samsung and Apple always play catch-up to what Windows always put out there, but still nobody. It was obviously not a selling point for the Windows people because it still didn't help.
Yeah. Speaking of new phones that are sold in a Microsoft store here soon, the Razer phone is a thing now.
I know.
It is official, which we've been kind of, touching on it on the show when we heard rumors probably earlier this year.
Right, because Razer purchased NextBit, which made the NextBit, I think, Robin phone.
That's right.
Which was really neat looking devices.
Yeah,
it was a couple like pastel looking colors.
It had an interesting concept, but I don't think that's what they were interested in. They wanted the engineers for the hardware team to make a solid phone. And I'm going to be honest, this phone's kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, this is not like Razer from Motorola Razer days, the RAZR.
No, this is, if you're a gamer, you know who I'm talking about, Razer, RAZER, like you said.
Right.
Big time gaming company who also happens to make really great hardware. My headphones for my Xbox are the Razer Black Shark 2.0s or something. They're basically like a helicopter pilot. They're inspired after a helicopter. They are the most comfortable headsets I've ever had. But beyond that, I mean, their mice, their keyboards, I mean, almost anything they make, I feel. In the early days, I think people argued that they didn't have great hardware, but now, solid, very solid.
I think a lot of people just were finding it tough to justify the price because Razer devices typically were more expensive.
Yep. I mean, those headphones aren't exactly what I would call on the cheap end. They're not on the very high expensive end either. They're middle of the road, where I think most gamers would put up with that price. But anyway, back to the phone.
Right. Quad
HD screen, so 2560 by 1440. So 1440, not quite full 4K. Right. If I would imagine, because that's 2860, right?
I believe so. I mean, it's still going to be nice.
Now, here's the really, really interesting thing. 120 hertz refresh rate. Some people's TVs aren't even that great.
Right.
When I was doing research back in the day, that is the full reason I have the LG TV that sits in front of us right now. It had 120 hertz because it makes everything crystal clear and smooth, buttery smooth when you get
buttery.
Buttery. Bacon. No, but it makes things work and feel so much smoother than maybe what they even are. So that 120 hertz refresh rate is very interesting. Typically, you don't really see that on a phone.
No. Kind of surprised me that the display is sourced by Sharp.
Huh. Interesting. I mean, I can see it because Sharp does some interesting things. Not saying that they're bad or good, but they do some interesting things. So I could see why maybe they would partner with them over some of the others.
Right.
Then you move to the processor. Obviously, it's a Snapdragon 835 because why wouldn't it be at this point?
Exactly. It's running Android, so obviously it's going to be on the Qualcomm side.
Then you have the 8 gigabytes of RAM. And that is RAM, folks. That is not storage or anything silly like that. That is RAM. What the heck am I supposed to do with all of that RAM?
Run Android.
Yeah, that's
unfortunately you kind of need.
However,
possible.
This is the interesting thing. They didn't skin Android. They just put the premium version of the Nova launcher on it. I applaud that so much.
Yeah,
because you don't have to pay for the app, I would imagine, because you already have it. So once you log into the phone, you essentially kind of have bought that app, I guess.
Yeah, I would imagine that's kind of how that would work. You just automatically update it when they release new updates.
Nova Launcher is like one of the best out there. I use it on every Android phone I get. That way everything kind of is very similar. I place things in a certain way. You know, I can do things that I couldn't have done without it. So
it's very customizable. You can do all the little app skins and stuff like the app packs and things like that to change your icons and all that. It's really, really nice.
So big kind of a kudos / applause to that. That is amazing. USB Type-C, thank God.
Internal storage is 64 gig. And you got a micro SD slide.
Also awesome. So 64, not bad. The internal, the SD card, perfect.
Yeah.
24-bit DAC, THX certified. That is pretty nice. The only thing that's going to be better than that is going to be the LG V30.
Right.
Obviously. So if you're a sound guy, and it's got the kind of front-facing speakers for that kind of almost boom sound kind of feel to it. Right. So that's pretty cool.
It doesn't have a headphone jack. You've got to use the Type-C headphone adapter.
That's true.
Of course. So.
Yeah, so you hate the dongle thing right now, just switch to Bluetooth. I'm already done with wires. Yeah. I've said it on the show a few times. I'm done.
As am I right now. Well, it's a big difference.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you get a pretty decent Bluetooth headset, just stick with it. Otherwise, they pack a dongle into the package, so no worries there. The cameras are interesting, especially from the shots I've seen so far. Because I'm a big camera guy. Mm-hmm. It's got to have a great low light camera. I haven't quite seen great low lights with it yet, but I could be wrong. It does have a 1.75. Oh, that's the wide angle. I could have swore it was like 1.8, but regardless, it's a 12 megapixel rear camera with zoom, and I think it's optical zoom. Like it's not digital, so that's kind of cool. And then it also has a wide angle, which I'm a huge fan of.
Right.
So
it's dual rear cameras.
2 thumbs up there on your hardware alone. This thing is awesome. Front facing camera, 8 megapixel to f-stop.
That's kind of standard these days.
It is. Cameras. There's nothing. 8 megapixel for the selfie thing, if you're into that.
The Pixel
fine.
2 and the Pixel 2 XL have some of the best front-facing cameras, and I believe they're just 8 megapixels.
Right.
If I remember right. I could remember wrong, because that tends to happen way too often. Anyway.
Another big selling point for me right behind camera is battery life.
Oh,
and
God,
this thing
good.
has it, I would imagine. 4,000 milliamp battery. Good Lord, that's like twice that of a normal iPhone.
Yeah.
And then some.
The iPhone 10 is 2760 or something like that.
That's not bad.
No.
But, just a normal plain Jane iPhone.
4,000? That's crazy.
That's like a day and a half, approaching maybe 2, depending how you use your phone.
Right.
That's pretty awesome. Also, quick charge 4, obviously, with the 835. All the rest is kind of normal stuff. You got your fingerprint scanner, side power button, I guess is
that's where the fingerprint scanner is, with the power button. It is kind of different, but...
It seems like it's a heavy phone, too. 197 grams with all that dense battery in it, I would imagine. But I've expressed this maybe a couple times as well. I like heavy phones. I don't mind them at all. And this doesn't scare me away from it. I cannot wait to get them in store to try it out. I'm going to be selling the heck out of this phone,
right?
Or try to.
Yeah, you're going to definitely have to let me know. Hey, they're in. Come look at it.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I am excited to check this out too, and the best part about it is the fact that it's $699 off contract.
Yeah, that is not a bad price for what specs they have stuffed in it. It kind of remains to be seen if it's going to change much in the industry. It's a pretty solid phone on paper. We really need to see it in the wild, see how it operates.
See how the software is. Is this going to be another essential phone debacle where, hey, it's got all the hardware in the world, but the software just kind of crippled it, and that's why Essential Phone is now $499, but the software's updated, so now it's actually a steal of a deal for a phone.
It does ship with Nougat 7.1.1. However, it's crazy that I even have to say 0.1.1. Anyway,
right.
It will upgrade to Oreo in early 2018, so that's not bad.
Right. You figure you probably have it by the end of March.
Yeah, I don't even have Oreo yet, and LG's pretty good about putting those updates out, so they must have ran into something that they're still working out.
I guess. I don't know. It'll be good to have that. And you got that nice Razer logo on the back. So no wording, just the Razer design on the back.
Perfect. I like that logo. It's kind of the like snake looking thing. Almost looks like a fidget spinner.
Yeah, it kind of does. Yeah.
Anyway, it's on paper. It's a really good phone, I would imagine. From the people that have touched it and used it, seem to really like it. It's not like blow your socks off in certain ways that maybe some of the new iPhones or even the LG V30 and even some of the new Samsungs have been. But I think it's still a contender, more so than some of the HTCs, unfortunately, right now. Mostly because people just kind of forget about Sonys and HTCs and even the Essential phone.
Right. And this, I believe... Let's see. Does not have IP67 or IP68 water or dust resistance.
Ooh.
So that can be a deal breaker for some people.
That would be a deal breaker for me.
I don't know if it
That's
would
rough.
be for me. Because, again, I don't drop my phone in toilets or sinks or anything like that.
True, but if I'm out taking pictures and it starts raining, I don't want to have to
I just
throw it in a plastic bag and like worry that I'm going to get it wet.
I just put it in my pocket and be done. It's like, all right, no more pictures. Google and other game developers are also optimizing games for the Razer phone, such as Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, Tekken, RuneScape, Lineage 2 Revolution, Gear.Club, World of Tanks Blitz, Shadowgun Legends, and Titanfall Assault. Those are also optimized for the Razer phone. And I do believe I've seen some pictures of people streaming Destiny 2.
To the phone?
Yeah. And being able to play that, so you put it on the little controller with the clip, and then you control it that way.
That must be a PC thing.
It is probably streaming it from the PC to there, but you're still playing it on the phone.
Interesting.
I know.
That has me interested.
And now he's a little more interested. He's like, well, I'm just going to do that at home. It won't get wet there.
All right. Insert cat.
Exactly. So additional locations, as Brad mentioned, Microsoft Store, select Microsoft Store locations, and Amazon.com in the United States.
I don't like that select part. Maybe we won't get one.
Yeah, it's kind of... So November 1st, which was 2 days ago at 9 p.m. GMT, pre-orders will begin at 3 outlets and on the 3 website. The Razer phone can also be reserved on RazerZone.com in launch countries. And for those that are truly elite, Razer is making just 1,337 Razer phones with Razer's iconic green triple-headed snake logo instead of the muted gray.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, see, 1,337 people are going to get that iconic green logo, or iconic green phone.
I would imagine the 1,337th phone is going to be more coveted than the first one.
Oh, yeah. That's the one that's going to end up on eBay for crazy amounts of money.
Yeah.
No, it sounds good. It looks good. Can't wait to see one and hopefully try it out, because that'd be nice. And for $700, that's not bad. Speaking of bad, it's like the next chapter of the Pixel 2 and the Pixel 2 XL story that Google...
Yeah. This is getting like Galaxy
comical
Note levels of bad.
Yeah. Somehow Google shipped some buyers a Pixel 2 XL without the operating system.
How do you even do that? Like, that is just terrible. I don't think I've ever heard of that happening.
Yeah. No, it's the first time. Yeah, that's multiple users on Reddit are reporting the issue, and when an affected device is turned on for the first time, a message pops up saying, can't find valid operating system. The device will not start. Ain't that something?
Yep.
So buyers that receive a device like this are being instructed to contact Google and return it for a new model. Isn't that something?
Oh, I'm so excited I got my phone. Oh, I can't use it and have to send it back.
Oh, it doesn't have Android on it. I would imagine, though, that I guess it would depend on if Google has made the factory images available, because you could still install it yourself.
Yeah, I mean...
If the factory image is available, you could still install it yourself.
True. Some of the people buying these...
Ain't gonna know what? They're huh? They won't know that they could do that. That's the problem.
Also, I don't know if I would mess with that. I would just send it back and give me a new one.
Yeah, because who knows what other kind of glitches. It could have just been some test model that accidentally got put in the release shipping line.
That's just how I view it. I mean, I would probably be more than capable to load it. However, being as it is not my fault, I am not messing with it.
It could be one of those karma things, like, this phone just got bad karma. It needs to go.
Yeah.
Because it already showed up bad. I don't want to be dealing with bad every couple weeks or every few days, months, whatever. So it's just... Man, I just cannot, right now, I don't feel I could recommend the Pixel 2 or the Pixel 2 XL.
No.
And I feel terrible saying that because I was looking forward to...
Very much.
Especially the XL.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big mess. We're still seeing the fallout from it, apparently.
Yeah.
Who knows, it could get worse. But right now...
Right now, for Android, I'd probably push people towards either the Note 8... or the V30 if you're somebody that has to be on a carrier plan or something like that.
If you like a lot of music or cameras, go V30. If you need pen notations or you're just a Samsung person in general, go obviously the Note 8.
Or you want to do those cute little live instant drawing messages on those Note 8 commercials. That's cute. It's corny. It's not like that's really... I can't imagine, because you and your spouse, or you and your significant other, whatever, having the exact same phone so you can do that. It's like, I don't get that. I don't.
No, not unless like LG disappears and there's no other option other than Samsung. I'm going to probably stay on Android. Mm-hmm. But if that does happen and there's just like, oh, look, I can get a Samsung or a Samsung because it's the only one worth getting, then I'll probably switch iPhone.
Right.
I'm going to be honest.
All right. Time for some app, entertainment, and hardware picks. First up, I don't know if you have noticed this yet, Mr. Brad, but Google's YouTube TV app for Xbox One has been spotted in the Windows Store.
That is interesting. So, being as it's in the Windows Store, would that mean that it's also for Xbox? How does that work?
Well, I believe this is for Xbox One, so they want to kind of get it on more bigger screens.
Would that also work on computers then?
Well, if it's in the store, I kind of would think so.
I guess the reason I thought we rebranded to, I think is it called Microsoft Store now?
You would know better than I do. All I know is I seen the little app icon changed on me yesterday, and I was like, huh, okay.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, we rebranded to the Microsoft Store. I was right. I've been away from work for a little while, okay?
Oh, goodness. Here we go, Mr. Traveler. But obviously the app is going to be free, but the service is still $35 a month, and you get a great number of channels.
Yeah.
And a great number of online, quote-unquote, DVR storage. It's just because you're just streaming it like anything else. But I think it's kind of neat. If it's in your area and you are a YouTube TV subscriber, and if you watch the World Series for anything longer than 2 seconds, you've seen plenty of YouTube TV commercials and advertisements around the stadiums and stuff, because YouTube TV was a big sponsor of the Major League Baseball World Series, which...
I'm a little surprised to see St. Louis on the list, actually.
I'm still like, what? Oh my God. That's pretty interesting that we would be available to get YouTube TV. Haven't done the trial. I mean, you can get a free 30-day trial if you would like to try it out. Yeah. And then it's $35 a month afterwards.
So if you get the YouTube TV, does that also include YouTube Red?
I would like to say yes, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Because then that would kind of make it a little more worth it for me.
Right, because that's $10 on its own by itself.
Right, where if you could buy kind of one package to encompass it all on YouTube, that'd be interesting.
So upon further review, YouTube TV does include YouTube Red's content and original shows, but it does not remove ads from regular YouTube videos.
Oh man, such a missed opportunity.
To do that, you've still got to pay the $10 a month for YouTube Red.
Such a missed opportunity.
So you get everything that comes with it other than removal of ads.
The part that I want.
Right. That is apparently worth $10, so you yourself have to decide, is removing the ads worth the extra $10 a month?
I would just use that. I would, in this case now, I would probably just spend the $10 to remove the ads and not get the $35 package.
Is there really enough stuff on YouTube Red that you would want to see?
Not YouTube Red. I don't care about that. I just want to get rid of the ads. So when I'm watching YouTube, period, because we watch a ton of it, apparently.
Yeah, that's true. You guys do.
Yeah, we're millennials. Whoa. But I also don't have, $100-something bill on it for a TV. That's
we don't either. We pay our Hulu, Netflix,
and that's it.
And
Amazon comes with Prime.
Whatever it breaks down to, whatever you would like to break out of the Prime membership for YouTube.
And I don't count the
Amazon
internet
TV.
into that TV pricing.
Yeah, I don't
because
either.
let's face it, if you have TV and you're paying for it, you're not gonna not have internet. I mean, there's bundle pricing and all that, but you're
my
not.
dad's an oddball. He's got DirecTV and doesn't have home internet. I'm like, why? He's like, I do everything on my phone.
Case scenario.
I know. 7-year-old guy. He don't give a shit.
Right.
He really doesn't. So it's what it is.
He can check his weather on his phone.
That's true.
So
And
he's really excited about that.
Yeah, that pretty much. He'll look up his classic car stuff.
Yep.
All that stuff. So, yeah, that's kind of what it is. All right.
So, did you get Super Mario Odyssey?
Yes, sir. I sure did.
Oh, so
I actually bought it before I came up last Friday. And I got a chance to spend probably...
a little bit of time with it?
Yeah. I started playing when it was light out the next day, Saturday.
Uh-huh.
And I stopped playing it when it was like 9. So I played it probably 5 hours or something. And I'm just in the desert world right now.
So from what I understand,
like World 2.
Super Mario Odyssey is very similar to Mario 64 in the fact that there's a hub world, and within that hub world you can go to different other worlds.
Yeah.
It's a bigger Mario world than I think they've maybe ever have made. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure about big because, I mean, the levels look big. There's a lot to do in them, but I wouldn't say that the levels themselves are huge.
Beyond that, I would say Zelda, Mario, well, for me, Minecraft, and probably Skyrim would be the 4 top games I would say right now on the Switch that I would get. Because playing Skyrim at any point is just a fun time.
Right.
And you can essentially play that game forever.
Yeah, you can do a lot on there. Mario Odyssey, I would say the controls are great. There is definitely some challenging aspects to it. I'm not trying to rush through the story and get to the end where you're just getting the minimum amount of moons to power your Odyssey.
So you're not
ship.
worried about spoilers with the story?
No, I'm just going slow and kind of trying to gather as many obvious moons as possible.
Yeah.
And each individual level has like 50 special, I wouldn't call them coins, but they're 50 little of the similar items that are grouped in 3, scattered throughout the level. And man, it is so fun figuring out different ways to collect moons that you wouldn't think, in different costumes. And it's like, wow, this is really fun. And the snapshot feature, getting to take pictures and stuff no matter where you are and put Mario in funny situations and stuff. It's hilarious. And there's so many different filters. Once you set it up in camera mode, you can scroll through a whole bunch of different filters. Nintendo, Super Nintendo, blur, black and white, sepia, just a whole wide range.
Have you been playing docked or undocked, or a little bit of both?
When I was first setting it up, I had stopped after I left here and stuff. I went to get my car inspected because the plates were up at the end of October. So I went to the car dealer and I was just kind of waiting. So I spent maybe 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes maybe getting it. So I had to download an update because I bought it physical.
Right.
So I still had to install an update. So
you've been kind of buying mostly physical.
Yeah, right now, every game I've purchased other than 1-2 Switch, I went physical with.
Well, 1-2 Switch kind of makes sense, though.
Yeah,
a
like
bit.
That's not a game I'm going to worry about trying to resell. It ain't going to be worth anything anyway.
No,
so.
yeah, it's a fun game, but at the same time, it's
small.
not. Yeah, it's such a small. Yeah, that I would do that digital too. That's a perfect party game. It's like, oh man, I forgot my cartridge, or oh hey, I have it on my system, no big deal.
It's fun. The review by Ryan McCaffrey from IGN, I would say, is kind of spot on in regards to...
They gave it a
10.
Yeah, I figured so.
But the camera and the controls are going to kind of lead you to make some ill-timed jumps. And when you die, you just lose 10 coins. But coins are so easy to get in this game.
That's good.
But the visuals, man, it is such a beautiful game. And it looks fantastic on the TV.
It's funny how Nintendo may not be the most powerful console, but they are always very good at their art direction.
Yes.
And it's almost in a way that it's timeless. For instance, Wind Waker. You go back and look at that game, that game's 10, 15 years, about 15 years old.
A GameCube, no.
2002, 2003, somewhere around there.
Well, let's see. Wind Waker, I thought that was a GameCube game. That's older than that.
So let's see.
That's a 99 or 2000 because the Wii came out in like 2000, 2001.
Ooh, right on the dot. 2002.
Okay. All right.
But I believe it was that fall. I believe. Or maybe it was that spring. You know what? I don't know. Yeah. It was 2002.
That beautiful art not anime, but cel-shaded. Oh, so beautiful.
And it's funny when people get up in arms about silly little things. Time goes by, and then they love the thing more than when it originally released. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. All I'm trying to say is Nintendo is very good at their art direction and knowing the limitations of their system, which in turn kind of gives them better products. So,
anyway, if you've got a Nintendo Switch, it's probably kind of a no-brainer to pick that up. Yeah,
must have.
It's fantastic, and I look forward to continuing on and getting through more zones and things like that. Just so fun and so challenging. I like it. I mean, some people, I didn't die but like 10 times when I played through. I'm like, well, you probably didn't try to get as much of the things as possible because you've got to sometimes have to kill yourself to, this is kind of pointless. But the way that it switches from normal 3D game to sometimes you play the 2D classic 8-bit looking Super Mario Brothers and certain levels and it's like flat. Oh, got it. That's fun too. It's challenging, but it's fun. Trying to figure out what you got to do to talk to this character or activate this and do what it's like. I love it. It's fun. I'm enjoying it a lot.
I'm going to run through my 3 things pretty quick. Okay. First on the list, and not first on our list, but first on my list, is going to be Stranger Things 2. If you haven't seen the first one, do yourself a favor and watch it tonight. If you have seen the first one and you haven't started the second one, what are you doing? Great, second run of the show. Most people will say, and I'd probably agree, that the first one is still better. However, you always walk that fine line of, well, is this going to be just kind of a crapshoot? Was it a one-off? No. The second one's nearly as good, I would say. It still kind of has all the same feels, all the things that you're used to from the original Stranger Things, kind of twist them a little bit because times went forward a little bit. It's hard to talk about it without spoiling anything. All I'm going to say is definitely go watch it. It's great.
Only 8 episodes.
9.
9.
I believe it's 9 episodes.
Okay. Did you watch any of the Beyond Stranger Things?
I haven't, because that's not really Sarah's thing. That's more my thing. I probably will in my off time eventually,
right,
if I'm not playing a game at some point.
The problem is there's too many good games getting ready to come out.
Yep. And speaking of games, actually, I don't have it on the list, but I'm going to talk about it, is PUBG, Public Enemy Unknown Battlegrounds. So that finally has a release date, and I believe it's going to be a console exclusive now for Xbox. So if you want to play PUBG on a console, you're going to need to get an Xbox for that. Or, get on the PC. Either way, and that's going to be how you're going to play it. It releases December 12th. Kind of a strange date for a game. Usually anything after November, people aren't crazy excited for, but I mean,
yeah, people are pretty excited for this.
So excited for this that they're downloading Fortnite. It's like the Battlegrounds or whatever. It's essentially kind of the same vein of what they're doing, but a little more goofy, a little more like Minecrafty, I guess. It's okay. I don't quite like the controls in that one, but right. PUBG is the one to look out for. It's only going to be $30. So that is definitely going to be a sleeper hit, I think.
So for Xbox One exclusives, you've got this PUBG, $30, and Cuphead, $20,
yep,
$50, 2 exclusives, 2 hopefully fantastic games. I know Cuphead's amazing.
Lucky's Tales, I would imagine relatively cheap. It's probably $30 or $40, and that's kind of our new little kind of fun mascot guy. I can't wait to play that one either.
Right.
But yeah, we've got some nice exclusives that are relatively cheap. Also on the list of games is Assassin's Creed Origin. Now, I know a lot of you may be tired of Assassin's Creed. I myself, as much as I love them, was getting tired of them. However, this game they put a little bit more thought into, being as they had that extra year, and it plays a lot more like an RPG than it does the old kind of action-adventure type. A lot more systems to fine-tune and roll through. So the little bit that I have played, I'm very excited for this game. So I'm, lucky that our store, we tend to pull games sometimes and get to play them in the break room so I can speak to them on the floor. It's the case for this one. Nice. Also, it's... If you've been holding out on Assassin's Creed for a little while and you need that extra game to go jump into, I would definitely recommend this.
Nice.
Lastly, I'm pretty sure all you know that Tuesday is the day of the Xbox One X launch, and I'm super excited.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, go to your local Microsoft store. If you do have one, we will be having midnight launches. Just check with your local store. Just double check, make sure they're having it. And, you should have a pretty fun time. I think it starts at like 5 and goes up till midnight until we launch it. So,
and if you don't have a Microsoft store nearby, I believe Best Buy kind of
GameStop
reopened up some pre-orders for the Project Scorpio edition.
Really?
I saw something about this yesterday or the day before on the St. Louis Retro Game.
They have
Gamers.
To be gone by now.
You would imagine, yeah.
Yeah, because people are trying to sell them for a couple $100 more on eBay that I saw.
Right.
And they're not even out yet, so.
Yeah. And that's $500?
It's same price as the regular system, $499. It's a special system we made for the people that were really passionate about it. Mm-hmm. And, obviously, if you're very passionate about something, you follow every move that it makes. So when we put those pre-orders live, they went fast. So
a couple other little purchases real quick that I did make last Friday was that I picked up some AirPods. So Apple AirPods.
Yep.
We were talking little wireless headphones a few moments ago. Man, I don't really know what to say. You take them out of the box, you have your iPhone on your lap, and you flip open the case, and they're automatically detected. Put them in your ears, and you hear that, they're connected. And you just start playing. It's kind of cool. And then having an Apple Watch, I can control the volume right from the digital crown. Mm-hmm. Just rotate it.
That's awesome.
They sound great. I was just walking through the West County Mall after I had purchased them. I went to the West County Mall to pick up the Product Red Sport Band for my Apple Watch because I thought it was kind of time for a color change for a band.
How much are those bands?
Like $50.
A little rough, but
it's not a little. Don't kid yourself.
I'm being nice.
It's a lot of rough.
I'm being nice.
It's just rubber with a little metal button to clip it on there, but it's comfortable and looks good.
Matches your case.
Matches my case because I still have the Product Red case for my 7 Plus. So those were two of my purchases, and then later in the day, I mentioned that I had to get my plates renewed, which is right down the street from our local Game Monster video game shop in the Festus Crystal City area. So they sell used and some new games. Hopped in there just to see if anything new had came in, and I noticed that the Wii U that they've had for many, many months, probably almost a year, that had the box and pretty much everything, they dropped the price on it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I see where this is going.
So made an impulse purchase because I'm just horrible, and I went ahead and bought that because it was, like I said, it was finally at a price I could stomach, still having a nice box.
Yeah.
But I still need to acquire the inserts and the cardboard for the inside. And yeah, got home and, set it up. We tested it there in the store to make sure everything was good. And here's kind of what's funny. I said, well, with those pre-installed games, when the system's wiped or whatever, the games aren't on there. It's like, oh, just go over there and pick a Wii U game. And now I'll throw that in there for free. So I picked Super Mario Brothers U, so the Wii U version, and played that. And whenever, after I got home and I'm looking through the eShop, I noticed where it said on Super Mario 3D World, it said it was already purchased. And I thought, wait a second.
So it's tied to the system.
I think the games
user.
are tied to this. Yeah. So I was able to download that. And then I also downloaded Nintendo Land because it was also tied to the system because that was the bundle. So now I've got 3 games and I didn't have to pay for any of them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
For some reason, I thought they were tied to user accounts, but purchases, things that you actually do purchase separate from what supposed to be tied to that serial number.
I know they are for, I believe, the 3DS and the now Switch. I think those 2 accounts now are, that's your basically Xbox ID or PlayStation ID. It works the same way. You buy it and it's on your account now. I hope to God, going forward, Nintendo, please, for the love of God, I don't want to buy Metroid for like the 6th time. Please just keep that tied.
Yeah. If it works that way with your Nintendo 3DS, I think the shops, I hope for your sake that it kind of does work that way. But the Wii U, I mean, you look at some of these games, those Mario games, for example, beautiful. Like you said earlier, they're gorgeous games. I'm still trying to figure out why the Wii U was not so successful. And you can definitely tell from the Wii U gamepad, that's exactly where the Switch came from.
Yep.
It was the perfect trial run for the Switch.
It borrowed a lot of things from a lot of different consoles, and I think it just hit that perfect medium because people wanted to take the Wii U on the go, but they really couldn't.
All right.
So, it's cool.
And I already had a Wii U Pro controller because I thought I was going to use it with my NES Classic, so I already had the controller.
Yep.
A great controller.
Yep.
And it works fine. Love it.
That's
I'm very
awesome.
happy with that. So now I've got like every Nintendo home console. So.
The Wii U is where I stopped so far. I will definitely be picking up Switch soon.
Yeah, because it's a fantastic console. I think that was all the things that I did buy this time.
So I have a beer pick.
Yep. Time for this week's beer pick of the week. Come on, Brad. What do you got?
So for those of you who like beer and also love Breaking Bad, I have one for you. It's called Breaking Bud. And even the label is reminiscent of Breaking Bad, but essentially it's an IPA. It's by Knee Deep Brewing Company. They're from Auburn, California, so that was a good pick from when we were out there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But, essentially it's your pretty average IPA, but it has a little bit of a spin on it where it's got more floral than it does piney flavors. Or smells, and it's 6.5 ABV and 50 IBU. And I'm going to be honest, I was looking around in the store. I had no idea what to get. Jeff and I, friend of the show, obviously, but we're big beer heads. Go ahead and follow us on Tap. That's why I kind of do this, because I love beer. I love trying new things, and beer offers that all the time. But I'm going to be honest, the only reason I got this was for the label, and it turned out to be pretty dang good. Yeah. So labels do matter when it comes to beer and, really any product. The packaging makes a huge difference.
Sure does. I mean, it's one thing Apple's good at. Their packaging may look simplistic, minimalistic. Man, is it
effective.
Yeah. And
I would
sturdy,
say a lot of our new packaging, very effective. It presents the device in a very professional way. I love our new packaging.
It's what you got to do. It's what you got to do.
But I gave it a nice solid 4, So I would definitely have this again. And if you can find it, I would recommend picking it up if you're an IPA kind of guy. I know not everybody's an IPA person. I get it. I don't mind trying anything once.
It looks like a 4 is very consistent with the other 63,547 ratings.
Yeah, about a 3.94, so might as well round up, right?
That's pretty good, yeah. As a gluten-free person, I've got some beers on my list that I do want to try. And I've heard...
I was going to say, you probably could get away with a beer here and there. Obviously, you're going to have to be a little conscious about when you have them. But
right. And Stone Delicious.
The Stone Delicious IPA, definitely go pick that up. I cannot believe that's gluten-free.
It's either gluten-free or gluten-reduced.
Either way, it's delicious.
It would still be better for me. And I've heard somebody actually compared Red Bridge to Yingling.
I would distisagree, but when I had it, it could have been sitting for a while,
and it could have been a bad.
I would give it another chance.
Yeah, I'm still gonna try it because if I hear a website or whatever compare it to Yingling, I'm like, that's gonna perk up my ears because enjoy Yingling, and it's a very good little lager.
One of the largest craft brewers in the the largest craft brewer now in the United States. So yeah,
and then also Omission. So I'm gonna try the Omission ones.
Omission with a big O.
Yeah,
with the I don't remember the label.
It's like
white. Magnet or something.
It's like whites and blues and stuff like that, and yellows, depending on which version that you get. You can get the
most of them are very either gluten reduced or gluten free. So
right. So I'm going to definitely try those 3 or those 4, and there's a few more out there that I've been finding. It's like, oh, now it's just the biggest issue will be finding it close to where I live. That's going to be the biggest challenge for me.
Go to Friar Tuck's. They will have them. I've seen them multiple times there.
Yeah. So that's kind of what we're up to. Again, join us on the Facebook Tech Informist community.
We have a lot of interesting discussions over there, and everybody's been very cordial. I like that. Mm-hmm. Even though we have differing opinions, nobody, has been straight up ignorant or rude.
That device sucks, or we're not getting any of that. It's good.
Well, it's because we all view the world differently, and we all like different devices for different reasons. Mm-hmm. For the fact that I don't like Samsung doesn't mean you can't like Samsung.
Right. You still appreciate what they've done for the industry.
Exactly.
Even if it's not what we would use as a personal device ourselves.
Exactly.
Kind of irrelevant. It's still good because it helps push other companies to be better.
Exactly.
And that's what we want.
Yep.
So that does it for this week's episode. Let us know what you thought, and we hope to hear from you soon. And until next time, have a great weekend, folks. Consider yourself informed. We are out.
Ta-ta.